The powder in the gumbo pots.
The powder cooking in the gumbo pots. Derek Newton. Prologue. One great thing about the 80s was the dope was plentiful, and the competition kept prices cheap. Everybody and their mama slanged dope back then. The night before I copped, me and my girlfriend sat in the living room and counted bundles of dirty cash. $1 bills and change went into the Alhambra bottle in the bedroom. We used this cash for bills, food, or whatever we needed around the house. I never used dollar bills when I copped because they took up too much space and smelled the worst. I hadn't had time to break down the kilo yet and had run out of cash, so I cooked up a half ounce and headed to the track to make a quick C-note. The Hillcrest Motel was a spot where drug dealers cooked and sold dope. Roy was a Puerto Rican dude a few years older than me. He was an undercover smoker, but on that day he didn't care who knew he smoked and ran up to the car when I pulled up. "Goddamn, can I park first?" I asked. "It's been off the hook out here. You know it's Friday, baby. Where you been, Roy?" the dope fiend asked. He held a $100 bill. "What you need?" I pulled out a Ziploc bag of rocks. Roy grinned, showing yellow teeth. His jaw moved left to right in full tweak mode. "I got a few bitches at the Hillcrest. They just hit a lick. Hook me up, and I'll be at you all day," he said. "I got 4 for $50. He looked down at my hand. "These kinda small. Take it or leave it." The debate ended and he snatched up 2 50 packs. This selling dope shit was getting old. I was tired of dealing with junkies and worrying if the connection would come through before the bills were due. What started off as a way to make some cash turned into survival. I placed the dope back in the car and strolled over to the liquor store. The crew was across the street talking shit, drinking and laughing. We were a mixture of blacks and Mexicans in our early 20s, jobless, illiterate, and willing to do whatever it took to put cash in our pockets. Some of us had babies and responsibilities, while others still lived with their parents and spent the lion's share of their drug profits on designer clothes, booze, hotels, autos, and jewelry. It was a Friday night, and Foothill Boulevard was lit up with muscle cars and old-school Chevys that cruised up and down the strip with their music systems blasting. The smell of taco truck vendors saturated the air with carne asada, bell peppers, and onions. "What's up, Mr. Banks? What's good?" I asked. Same old, same old. Mr. Banks owned this liquor store for as long as I could remember. When I was a kid, he'd give us free candy. He was a pillar in the black community. The liquor store was small, 900 square feet if that. He was a 50-year-old African-American man and in good shape. The hood knew Mr. Banks kept a .357 Magnum under the counter, and that was all the security he needed. I placed the 40 ounces on the counter and handed him a $100 bill. "You know I can't break that." He put the beer into the brown paper bag. "Just pay me later." "Okay, thanks, I'll holla," I said and walked out of the store. Pop pop. I felt a burning sensation when I walked outside of the store. Pop pop. Wherever I ran, the crowd moved. My adrenaline pumped nothing but alcohol. I ran down the street trying to get away. The faster I ran, the slower I moved. I took a knee. I was tired. Silence surrounded me and my heart pounded. I wiped the sweat off my face and looked down and realized I'd left a trail of blood behind me. I panicked in blackout. 5 minutes later, an automobile with high beams smashed down the block. I mustered up enough strength and ran to it, thinking it's help. Wrong. The door opened, pop pop. I took one to the chest. Shit, I'm dead. I fell to the concrete to die. A calm came over me. God, please don't let me die like this. I closed my eyes. I don't remember how long it was, but when I opened my eyes, I was in an ambulance at the county hospital after about a 5-minute ride. I was dizzy but able to walk with the 2 paramedics through the double sliding glass doors. We passed 2 security guards. One was asleep and the other listened to his Walkman. Both were in their late 60s. When I turned around to ask the paramedics a question, they both were gone. I wasn't sure if this was protocol or not. I'd never been shot before. Hey, I need a doctor, I said. The guard I thought was asleep stared at my New Orleans Saints jacket drenched in blood. He pointed me over to the ER. It's a war zone in there. Homeless people slept on floors and bloody bandages were everywhere. Crackheads were in separate corners talking to themselves. Shit. I was dehydrated, hungry, and scared, and I looked over my shoulder every 2 seconds. I can't believe these punk-ass niggas let me get shot. The crew was my second family, but I got caught slipping without my pistol that night. We always kept firepower, Uzis, and other handheld gats on the avenue. We didn't keep shit on us, but they were nearby, hidden in bushes or unlocked vehicles. So, when I got shot, I knew the cavalry would arrive. No one came. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir, a short, heavy-set Filipino woman standing behind the glass window said. Her name tag said, Bernice. She shoved a clipboard in my face and pointed me over to the waiting area. The hospital smelled like coffee and cigarettes. There were 15 lime-colored seats positioned in the middle of the room. Hospital pamphlets and empty bottles cluttered the grimy tile floors. The smell of funk and shit invaded my nostrils. I sat down with the clipboard in hand. Damn it. Where's my ID? I must have dropped it with my phone trying to get away from the hot ones. I looked down at my case-whiz, now a pinkish red from the blood, and moaned out loud and caught the attention of a nurse. She offered me a shot for the pain. Hold up, bitch. What about me? A dope fiend asked. He mean-mugged the nurse with the syringes in her hands. Both of the dope fiend's ankles were swollen grotesquely. I heard a security guard say he jumped out of a 4th-story window in West Oakland. I sat in the hospital and wondered if anybody knew I was alive. Thank God, I said, thinking it was the nurse. Is that you making all this fucking noise? A male voice said that caught me off guard. You look familiar. You went to Fremont High, huh? Yeah. Nigga. Half my stomach is gone, and you crying over a few bullets. Shut that shit up. And I did.